Rising Productions, and this is Diva Talk. I'm Mia.
I'm Karen.
And I'm Reverie.
We talked about that. What unexpected gift or lessons has the pandemic brought you? I feel like we've got so much accomplished, in such a short period of time. I mean, you went from losing your business to starting another one, Reverie. Mia, you turned your business around. We started Scorpio Rising Productions. I got super busy with Puppets for Polling, and I released my one-woman show after 21 years. Like, that would have just stayed in the closet. That would have never even come up in a conversation. Plus so many other things, and I heard I'm taking this course, and I heard this great quote: books don't get written by thinking about them. Books get written by writing them. So we wrote our books, bitches.
Yeah.
Woo. And not the I mean, some of us, we wrote our literal books, but we wrote the Diva Talk book. We wrote the Tea with Edgar Allan Poe book. We wrote the Go Love Yourself book. We wrote the Puppets for Polling book. Like, we wrote our books in 2020. So there's some beautiful things to be said about what's come out of all of this too.
And even if nobody reads our books, it's okay, because we wrote them.
This has been a beautiful year, just like what you've said. We've accomplished a lot. We've lost a lot, but we've accomplished a lot. We have to remember the beauty of 2022.
The yin yang again.
Yeah.
You keep doing this. That's lobster claws. I don't know why you think that's yin yang.
Well, because I'm trying to do like the
the figure eight.
Yeah. I can't really do that. How do you do that with your
You're my lobster.
Yeah.
You're my meat dress.
That's it.
You're my what?
You're my meat dress.
Oh my God.
Dress.
Oh, I want to be somebody's meat dress. That's happening.
You're so weird. I love it.
That's a Diva Night theme, is to come as a Lady Gaga outfit.
That, yes. Yes. All right. So our last question is, what gets you up in the morning? What is your intention or your life purpose? And then Mia, you added to this, which I thought was great. Has that gotten lost in the pandemic?
What gets me, I'll start it.
Please.
So what gets me up in the morning is making a difference. That's what drives me. That's my purpose, is to make a difference. And I hope it's a good difference, but I'm just going for a difference at this point. But it has gotten lost, not in the pandemic, but recently, me having to actually take on this 9-to-5 job and going back to that, I forgot that my purpose on this earth is to make a difference. And I haven't been doing anything towards that, which is probably why I've kind of felt like my soul has been getting sucked out of me. And that's my fault. That's my responsibility. I need to put that in check and remember, I get up in the morning to make a difference in someone's life, and I need to be a light in the darkness, because there's so much darkness in the world. We need more light.
But you do realize that you have helped so many people. You have made a difference. We just talked about that.
People don't come and tell me. They don't come. People don't come up to me afterwards and like, "Oh, Mia, you changed my life. Oh, Mia, you helped me so much." People don't say that, but I don't do it for that.
Yeah.
It feeds my soul when I do it. So I guess it's kind of selfish in a way. But it would be nice occasionally, to hear somebody say, "Hey,
Sure,
you made a huge difference in my life." That would be nice, but not necessary. And I can't focus or live my life for those moments, because they may not come, and that's okay. I still have to press forward and do what I know is the right thing to do, and just try to be a beacon of light for those that are still sitting in the dark.
It's hard to just know like that that's enough, you know, like, because you're not, you know, because people get distracted or people get overwhelmed or people get sucked into their own stuff. So they're not saying it for whatever reason. Right. And so it's hard to just be the constant beacon, and know that that's enough.
Well, it's hard too when I have darkness myself.
Right.
So I get sucked into those moments where I forget, oh, I'm supposed to be putting my light on and helping some other people because I'm sitting in the dark myself. So,
but I think what we've learned, you know, and we've seen this in our interviews too with our guests, you know, when we talk about vulnerability, like, you know, none of us are immune to feeling vulnerable or having our feelings hurt. And, you know, like you said in the last episode is, you know, I'm Wonder Woman, but stuff doesn't bounce off me. I just learn to process it differently.
yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's like, you know, we're still walking around like humans.
I don't claim to be a human. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Or a superhero.
Partial human. I'm a hybrid.
You're a fembot.
She's an alien. I've known her my whole life.
When I get sparklers coming out of my titties.
Right. What about you, Rev? What gets you up in the morning besides coffee?
I'm like my dad. My dad used to say when I was 12, you know, I get up every day with a purpose. You know, I wake up and I have these intentions and I have this list. I know this is nerdy, but I have a list and I feel like I've accomplished something by marking things off this list. It's just what I do every day. And my life intention and purpose is to be creative and to create something and to make people laugh or to bring joy or help them learn. That's been my whole career with theater and with writing too, is to help other people, help them learn something, teach children that reading is important and it's fun and it's exciting and that theater is still alive. That has been my purpose for a really long time. And I felt at the beginning of COVID, because I lost my business and I couldn't do that, I thought, oh no, this is going to get lost in the shuffle of the pandemic. But you know, it's really not. And you know, earlier in the year, in the beginning of the summer, I think it was, I want to say it was in June because it was after Rob passed away, I created that sigil. And my sigil was all about having my life intention being about having love and light and creativity and hopefully having monetary success with my book. That was what my sigil was all about. And other than selling my book, which hasn't happened yet, which I'm actually grateful because I didn't want it to happen during COVID, all those other things I've made happen. And it's not necessarily because I created and I burned the sigil. I made it happen because every day, despite COVID, despite the pandemic, despite the lockdown, despite the illness, I have to be creative every single day. So it hasn't gotten lost in the pandemic, but my focus keeps getting shifted. And like I said before, I will lose it if I don't stay focused and stay positive. But if I do stay focused and stay positive, I can continue to have that life full of love and happiness and creativity. But it's something that it's like a plant. I have to water it every single day or it will die. So I just have to be, vigilant. I have to pay vigilance to my sigil, even though I burned it and created it. I still have to water it every day.
I love that analogy.
Thank you.
It's very visual for me.
What about you, Karen?
You know, I think, you know, going back to the yin yang, however you want to make it,
Call it lobster claws.
Yes, lobster claws. Going back to lobster claws, I think, you know, it's I think what I seek out to get me up in the morning, or my life purpose is to be connected to something like to nature, you know, I think to my spiritual side ultimately, which is why I go for hikes every morning. And I know I do have a yoga practice, but I do really feel like that my spirituality has slipped in this pandemic, and I've allowed the darkness and the rage and the, you know, the anxiety and the depression to kind of suffocate that spirituality a little bit. So I feel like I try to grasp for it, because there are moments when I do have it that I feel so lifted that I feel like it's much easier to have patience and compassion and love and tolerance and not be so angry. So I feel like, you know, what gets me up in the morning is to have that connection again, to have that come back and, you know, balance that part of me that's off kilter, you know. So that's, I think that's what gets me up is, you know, the connection to a source greater than myself, to fulfill me and balance me and restore me to be a better person to the world and to people that are around me, because I'm a pain in the fucking ass sometimes. Don't comment. Leave that to the audience to comment.
Yeah, but she gets shit done.
Is Karen a pain in the ass? Leave a comment below.
That's a whole show right there. That's a, you know, that's a whole show.
That's all.
We'll probably answer most of those comments.
I want to ask a question. Are we done with your questions?
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to ask, because we've talked about what we want to let go of, and you know, we've talked about the past. I want to know, what is your hope for 2021? Not a resolution, because fuck resolutions. I want to know what your hope, what are you going to manifest, or what are you going to focus on for 2021?
Whew.
Well, I feel like I already covered that by talking about, you know, keeping my life intention and purpose flowing. I think it just falls back on what I've been saying all year, you know, stay focused and stay positive. I've got so many things creatively I want to accomplish next year, and it's just staying on the road on my journey and not getting sidetracked. It's so easy to get sidetracked, especially right now.
I think, yeah, along those same lines, I think it's feeling like I'm fulfilled in a way that truly makes a difference to the masses. You know, like that idea of act locally, think globally. Like, what is it that I can say or do or create or write or, you know, use my voice in any way, capacity, that will make a difference in someone's life, to make them think differently, to make them feel differently, and hopefully for the better, you know. And then I think in turn will make me feel, you know, lighter. I think that's my hope, is to just not sit so much in the darkness, to remember that there is light and joy and things to embrace and behold in a time that's hard to remember.
Beautiful. I have kind of a big project in plan for 2021.
What's that?
I hope to find sustainable happiness. I saw a Tony Robbins video once that said, you know, I'm going to give you a little project. I want you to sit down, and viewers, I want you to do this. Sit down and think about, what is that one thing that you do in your life that you lose track of time when you're doing it? That one thing that you do that just sets your soul on fire and makes you happy, and all of your everything else just drifts away when you're doing that one thing. And I sat on that for the longest time, and I thought, okay, well, this, wait, no, this, wait, no, this. I don't know. Tony Robbins, I don't know. So I want to figure it out. I want to figure out what is that one thing. I know that helping other people is a huge passion, and it does light my soul on fire, but it's not always sustainable. I want to find out what is that thing that's going to be sustainable happiness for me. That's what I want to figure out. I have my hand, like I get told often, my sponsor is really good about doing this. She's like, how many things are you working on? My hand is in 50 million cookie jars. How many things are you working on? How many things do you need to be working on? And taking care of yourself. So I can be doing all of these different things, but are all of these different things making me happy? Are they contributing to my sustainable happiness? And that's what I want to figure out. What things in my life will contribute to my sustainable happiness? So I'm hoping when we do this, when we circle around at the end of 2021, I can say, this is what my happiness is.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
love that.
I like that, like, end of the year check-in. Like, we go back to this reporting and go.
And I'm glad you brought that up. And I think we've talked about this before. Mia, I think you mentioned this to me before, and I think it's perfect that I've segued into that I've segued into this, and this is something I've been wanting to do all year, but I want to write myself a letter and open it at the same time next year, just letting myself know that it's okay, just to be, I'm getting emotional, just to be, where I'm at, that it's okay. It would be good for you guys to do it too.
I have the letters. I have the letters, you guys, because I've actually done this before.
Yeah.
When I hired a life coach. It's a great exercise, and I'm going to send you guys each of the stationery. You just have to check your mail, Mia.
Whatever.
It's a stationery.
It's just cool to have like special stationery that stands out, that you send, and you have to send it to yourself. So you have to check your mail again, Mia, when you send it to yourself.
I don't even know where I'm going to be a year from now.
No, but
none
you
of us
send it to
do.
yourself, and then you put it in a place. Like for me, I have like a Butsudan, a Buddhist altar, something somewhere where you'll remember to see it. Like, open this December 30th, 2021.
I can email it.
Not the same, because you're gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, and there's
women in your paper. Stop killing.
We are a product of the 80s.
I think that there's something powerful in reading a letter of intention to yourself in your own handwriting. And you can also see how your handwriting changes. And you can see how you've grown by looking back on how you wrote a year ago.
I actually really like the idea, and I think we should do it. And I think our viewers should get involved too.
Yeah. All viewers.
Drop their email in the comments below if they want us to check up on them a year from now.
And I also just want to, again, thank Mark DeWitt, my dear friend and yoga teacher, for giving us these questions, because I did really think that they were very thought-provoking. And, I hadn't had really a lot of time to let it simmer until today with you guys. And it was really great to do this with you both, and with our audience. We'll put the questions in our description and in our post. I think it would be a really great thing to continue doing even throughout the new year.
Yeah, I think so too. And I was wondering if I was going to do this, but I've been sitting here for a while. I've been sitting here for a while, pee pondering, and I have to pee. Right. So, all right. So I'm back. Sorry.
So yeah, we're going to bring in this new year with happiness, staying on the path, and bringing in more joy. And
I love it.
we're going to
Unify
and rise up.
Happy New Year.
I think love is a choice for the most part.
Yeah.
I think your soul can feel a connection with somebody. And I'm sorry, Rev, I disagree. Love is not in the loins. We can dig into that later with the sex question. Not, and I'll explain that later. So watch the whole episode if you want to know. Or if you disagree and you think love does live in the loins, put a comment below and argue with me, because I assure you I can prove you wrong. It does not. However, it does live in the head and it does live in the heart, which the heart I reckon with the soul. The heart is your soul. So you can feel a connection with somebody and you can feel drawn to somebody. And, you know, I look at this in the dating aspect. I can feel that connection and that excitement and that spark, but then I have to choose, am I going to allow myself to love this person? So that's in the head. So you have the piece that's in the heart, where it's the initial connection, the soul connection with somebody, but then you have the piece that's in the head as well, where you have to make a conscious choice. Am I going to love this person? Because you can also choose to hate someone. If you think about, you know, all of your exes, when you split up with them, you had a choice. You could continue to love them and let them go with love, or you could say, no, I hate you, I don't like you anymore, and shut the love off.
Go.